Hello and welcome to Atomic Facepalm. I am Chris.
I'm Bree.
And this is episode 2 of Atomic Facepalm Weekly. And now the faces.
What is that?
All right. So, getting right into it, we're going to start with gaming news for this last week or so. And we're going to start with Middle-earth: Shadow of War being accidentally announced.
Whoops.
By Target, of all places. So, apparently they kind of updated their storefront with this game, and clearly that was not supposed to happen because no one knew about it. But it was up for quite a while, so I don't think it was like an early April Fool's joke or anything.
No. And it's coming out soon. I'm
Very
surprised
soon.
that we haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, which I think was lending some people to say maybe it wasn't true. But, I mean, it was a whole product pitch, you know. So the actual line they had on this accidental ad was, "Go behind enemy lines to forge your army, conquer fortresses, and dominate Mordor from within." So again, this is sounds like something the game would probably say. Mm-hmm. So a direct sequel, it sounds like, to the original Shadow of Mordor, developed by Monolith. And I didn't play that game, but I've heard rave reviews on it.
I know, it is really close to the top of my I have to play eventually list. I think it's behind The Witcher, which I've been working on.
Yeah.
But everyone says great things about this game, and I've been meaning to play it, but...
As an inside note, we actually have a friend of ours who works for Monolith, and he was not too happy with us. We went to PAX last time, so we probably should play it. He's going to kick our ass. So, but no, it looks like a great game. They have like a Nemesis system. Mm-hmm. They have, it just looks like it's a good representation of Lord of the Rings, at least the film version, which for me was a preferred version. So, not surprising it's getting a sequel. Oh, that was an interesting look.
What was that thing that you just said?
Oh, I said that I preferred the film version.
To the books.
That's correct.
I'm not even touching that with a 10-foot pole.
I've only read the books twice, like the trilogy twice.
Yeah.
Too much singing in the books.
Too many poems. You couldn't skim the poem.
Well, I feel like that's not really reading the book. That's just skimming through the book.
Skimming the poems.
Right. And the songs. So many songs. Yeah. So many songs. And Tom Bombadil. Not a fan of Tom Bombadil. Maybe he'll show up in this sequel. And he'll fight alongside you.
In the Nemesis system.
Yeah.
He'll be your Nemesis.
He'll be a piece of DLC you can buy, and he'll be invincible. Anyway, so it's scheduled to come out August 22nd, which again...
That's what I'm saying. I think that's
far
super.
away.
That's like right around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to blink, and it's going to be summer in August.
Oh, yeah. And the version they accidentally teased was a PlayStation 4 version, so nothing mentioning the PC, but it just seems to suggest that it'll probably come out on PC, I would imagine.
I'm assuming.
Like the last one did. So, yeah, not a whole lot we know about it other than, whoops, I'm sure there are some pleasant exchanges going on between Warner Brothers Interactive, who publishes this game, and Target, who accidentally let them know that it exists.
At least it's creating hype. You know, there's two roads where sometimes they're like releasing things for years, like teasing you, and to the point where you're like, oh my God. Whereas this is like you haven't heard a peep, and then all of a sudden, bam.
Yeah,
within
and
6 months.
I'm sure it's happened in the past where it's like they pretend like it's accidental. I don't know if this is one of those situations. Since it's from Target, you know, you'd think that would come from the publisher where they just like lay it on you. Oh yeah, we got this cool game coming out. It's just strange. So yeah, good for you guys. And then we have Irrational Games making a comeback. Kind of.
Sort of, in a different form, in a different name.
This time it's a rational approach as opposed to the last time.
Which was
highly irrational.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They're not called Illogical Games. They're not called Illogical Games. They're called Ghost Story Games.
Or just Ghost Story. No games.
Just Ghost Story?
I don't know. I'm making that up.
I think it actually is just Ghost Story, to be honest. So, Irrational Games was founded by Ken Levine, an interesting fellow. And the studio, Irrational Games, was a pretty important and influential and quality studio.
And aren't they an East Coast studio?
They were. They were in Boston.
Yeah.
They relocated there. Unfortunately, Bioshock Infinite kind of sucked. It ruined the company. So I will say they had great games up to that point. And honestly, Bioshock Infinite was not a bad game. It just wasn't... Like, they poured so much money into marketing and into development. It was almost like this Millennium's version of Daikatana. If you remember that game, that was an old game by John Romero, and man, did they pitch that game hard, and it just tanked. It's just there's only so far hype can go, and even a company like Irrational was not immune to that. And boy, they got rid of everybody except 15 employees back in 2014. And the exact quote was, "We're going to do more entrepreneurial efforts," from Ken Levine.
It's kind of a nothing sentence.
I don't know what entrepreneurial efforts means.
We're going to do more businessy stuff with our time and energy.
Yeah.
That means nothing. That's business speak.
It's the 15 of them that are going to...
We're going to try to make money real hard.
Talk about business stuff. That sounds cool.
Really good at business.
But, it is good to hear that they're coming back. And this obviously is a real gaming studio, not an entrepreneurial effort. Well, I guess it is. This is a real company. And the statement on their site is it was founded by 12 former Irrational Games developers. And it says their mission is simple: to create immersive, story-driven games for people who love games that ask something of them. Presumably everybody. And maybe there's someone out there who's like, I don't ask much of my games. Do you ask much of your games when you play them?
Isn't it the game is asking something of me?
I don't know. Maybe they're flipping the whole
I'm not
damn
asking
thing
the
on
game
its
for
head.
anything. I think the game is asking something from me, is what they're saying.
Usually asking for money.
Money, and then I'm assuming effort.
Yeah, well, effort's good too. So, what do you think? Are you excited to see Irrational make a comeback?
We'll see. We'll see what they put out there. They're saying story, driven games, which I'm always a fan of that.
They've had a diverse set of games. So, System Shock 2, which is one of those cult classics. Tribe's Vengeance, also another cult classic. A friend of mine, Evan, was really into that game, but it's sort of a niche crowd. SWAT 4, which is actually a pretty damn good game. I never played it, but a lot of people have given that accolades. And of course, BioShock, the first one, and then BioShock Infinite. So those are all very different games. So good. Go ahead and, I guess, branch out and do something different. Did you actually play BioShock Infinite?
No.
Did not.
I downloaded it on my computer, which it is giant. Like, I spent 2 weeks downloading it on my crappy internet connection, and then I never got around to playing it.
Yeah, it was...
I know we had a friend that really loved it, blew his mind or something, and so I was like, I'll give it a shot, but there's so many games I can't keep up.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's one of those ones where you go back and I missed it, I should replay it. It was okay.
It's not on my list anymore.
Yeah. Well, you and a lot of people, because, boy, it just didn't work out. But again, I'm glad that Ken Levine is still part of game development. He's a talented guy. He's eccentric, as most game developers are. But I guess, hey, call it a comeback. And then we can move on, I guess, to Resident Evil 7. They have DLC coming out. More DLC.
Because didn't they just have DLC with 3 or 4 games or something?
They
or 3 mini games or something?
Yeah, 3 mini games, yep. I think one of them is still only on PlayStation. The other one came out for PC and PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they did not get great. One did.
I was going to say, one of them, everybody thought that was how you're supposed to experience it in VR or something. It was great.
Yeah. One of them, you're playing blackjack, and you get your fingers cut off if you lose.
Oh.
That's literally...
That's definitely a mini game.
Yes, very much so. It's gross and disturbing, but it's just literally just a card game.
No.
It's like Saw in 10 minutes.
Would you like to play a game?
Yeah. A bad one, apparently. But this one is called Not a Hero, and it stars Chris Redfield, which is something of a controversy because, spoilers, the next 2 minutes, I guess. Spoilers if you've not finished Resident Evil 7. Skip ahead a minute or two. Because okay, good. If you're still here, at the end of Resident Evil 7, Chris Redfield comes back.
Yeah, for a second.
Yeah, but it's still a big reveal because he hasn't been in the series in a long time.
Yeah.
So he comes back and he's in a helicopter that has his hated arch nemesis in the original series, which was Umbrella Corporation. He was fighting against them. He's now presumably working with them in a helicopter. So if he's in his own DLC now, people are saying, well, wait a minute, maybe this is more of a reboot. Maybe they're actually going back to I don't know, the end of Resident Evil 1 or something. They're redoing the series, maybe. Which is weird because they're still calling it Resident Evil 7 and DLC. Not sure.
Well, they can't call it, what are they going to say? Resident Evil 1 redone or Resident Evil 2 redo?
They kind of did that. So they had Resident Evil HD Remake, which came out on GameCube. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was literally just same game, but slight changes. So.
Well, that's remastered. Right?
It was different though. I
Isn't
mean,
it
it was the
remastering?
same, more or less same plot, but they added a lot of stuff to it. Like it wasn't just the person with a coat of paint. So we don't know much. The Twitter feed said he's chasing something. Well, that's descriptive. He's chasing Amy, the movie with Ben Affleck. So it's gonna be free, which is curious too.
And both. So this one is for PC and for PS4.
It is, unless something changes. Yeah. So the free version is nice. I don't know how much content there'll be. They haven't said really much else besides that Chris Redfield is back, and boy, is he chasing something. Are you going to jump in and chase whatever it is with him?
No, I'm not. I'm not playing any Resident Evil game. I'm not. I'm done.
Maybe this could be the little thing that pushes you back into it.
I don't think I ever was in. I think I had like a toe in the door, and I was like, yep, nope.
You slam that door on you. That's too bad.
Not for me. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's fair enough. Going from DLC, I actually came up with this next one, which is, when I come up with it, I wanted to put it on here because I'm a big speedrunner guy. I'm not a speedrunner. I like watching speedruns. Let me make that very important distinction. I ain't that good at games. So a speedrunner beat every NES game ever made.
And on a stream too, right? You streamed it all?
He streamed every single game.
That is dedication.
Well, you did that last year, remember? That's impossible. I'm just kidding.
It's like, what? I've never streamed. I've never speedrun a game.
We do have some NES games. So this fellow, he's a Mexican-Polish guy. I am going to butcher this name, but I'll give it a shot. Piotr Delgato Kuzelzuk.
Delgado.
Kuzelzuk.
He's the Mexican runner.
He is the Mexican runner on his
And
Twitch.
I didn't, yeah, that's his real name. I didn't make that up.
No, I know.
Okay.
It's his, No, it's his, his channel name or whatever. So this guy had records in Battletoad and Contra. It makes me hate him right away because Battletoad's the hardest NES game ever made, and this guy speedruns the goddamn thing as well as Contra. So he's clearly pretty talented. There were 714 NES games. There was 600 and some odd, and then he included some region-specific ones. It's a lot of goddamn games.
It's a lot of games, and
so
streaming
many.
all of those games and speed running all those games. I just can't even. That's
3 years, I think it took him.
yeah, 3 years.
Yeah.
Just holy crap.
That's some dedication beyond dedication. Mm-hmm. And it's not like a lot of these games are fun games. He spent 91 hours beating Miracle Piano Teaching System, the Nintendo game. He said he actually had to learn how to play piano to beat that game. He then spent 39 hours in Championship Pool and 37 and a half hours in Akari Warrior. Dude's got some motivation.
That's just crazy.
It's impressive. It's at the same time disturbing.
Yep.
Sure. It's kind of cool, but kind of wow. Okay.
It's the 91 hours in Miracle Piano Teaching System that's really just 91 hours.
That would drive me insane after 10 hours.
It's more than 2 work weeks worth of time.
For one stupid...
Can you imagine for the next 2 weeks, every day you go into work and all you do is play piano?
No.
Magical.
That sounds like an actual
miracle.
hell.
Sorry, Miracle Piano Teaching System.
It's a miracle he did it. I'll give him that much.
Okay.
For games, I guess, that didn't end like Piano Game, he played them until they basically loop back and start over. That was a thing back then, So it's impressive, and it really made me kind of chuckle. Holy shit, that is insane. So, yeah. For anyone who wants to break a new record, I don't know, play all the Genesis games, play all the Sega games. I think there's plenty out there. All the Game Boy games.
And so was he playing, did he actually acquire the cartridge systems, or did he do an emulator for these games?
So they danced around that.
Oh,
an
emulator for
yeah,
some of the expensive ones.
Because I was looking for that, and I was like, boy, I'm guessing he doesn't own.
Where would you find Miracle Piano Teaching System? Well,
I
somebody
know.
must have it because they've ripped it to emulate, but...
Yeah, I was just trying to think of just logistics of streaming. I guess it was hooked up to your TV or something. I'm not sure.
You can stream from your TV, but yeah.
Yeah, I would guess they were emulated. If he bought 714 old-ass cartridges, that makes me respect him and be even more disturbed. So, hooray! Keep going, dude.
And lastly, so a new Blizzard teased a new Overwatch character. They're starting to put that out, and so this will be the 24th character. They do one about every 4 months, so they're thinking about March for this one. But they did take some feedback on Sombra, and they're not going to go quite so heavy with the teasing for so long.
Yeah, thank God on that one.
Yeah, so, and Jeff Kaplan said on the forums it's not the one we think, which is Doomfist, because that's been kind of teased around a little bit as
Which
well.
is a bummer. Just because Terry Crews.
Well, that's not even for sure that he would do it. There's many other
another
people.
bummer.
Like The Rock has come out and said he wanted to do it.
Yeah,
and,
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, so a lot of people are really excited about Doomfist, but this one is not Doomfist. So there was a news report in game, and it's a little 11-year-old girl who's won an award for being super smart and likes robots, and she's got money now. So that was teased out, and you kind of see a picture of her. She's a little tiny girl. But then in game, I guess they've had some things where robots have been attacking certain areas where it's like hitting a wall.
Yeah,
so maybe
I saw
she's going to be inside the robot, kind of like
a diva, a mini diva.
diva, or she controls the robots or something, because they're thinking this is more of a tank character this time around because that's desperately needed.
Yeah, we actually haven't played Overwatch in a little bit. It's been
No.
a couple of months. Last time we played, I think, was Sombra, right?
Yeah, when Sombra first came out, and we just kind of took a break from...
Well, we had to. Our internet is terrible.
Yeah. We all tried, like 4 people tried to get online, and then it's like...
Broke the house.
Done. But she looks cute, and I think it could be fun.
That's an interesting take. It really sounded like Doomfist was going to be the one. At least-
Yeah, and then that's why he was kind of like, no, because people were just like, Doomfist, Doomfist, Doomfist.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings. I mean, I think we should get back into that game. Like it's like a household game for us, right? It's like the whole kids
Family
and but
game.
yeah, it's fun. And a lot has changed. And honestly, if you don't spend a month in Overwatch, it probably looks completely different. But I love Terry Crews. I like him in the Old Spice commercials, and I liked him in Idiocracy. It's one of the few parts of that movie I did like. Sorry.
Apparently somebody here hates everything.
That's not true.
You hate Idiocracy? I mean, it's not a great movie,
Maybe I
but
wouldn't say I hate
it's
it.
got sticking power for sure.
It has some funny parts. Yeah, I wouldn't say I hate the whole thing.
Like, it's not a movie I want to watch every day, but man, hate.
Okay, I'll resend the hate part.
Okay.
I have my issues with the movie, but Terry Crews was definitely not one of them. He's awesome.
Okay.
So I want him to be Doomfist just for that reason.
Okay.
But no, this sounds cool.
It does.
So,
And
yeah.
and they're going to keep going with the heroes. So this is the 24th, which made me like, really? There's 24 heroes in that game?
There's a lot. I was thinking about that too. There's a ton of heroes.
Huh.
I mean, it's, I guess, not a lot if you compare it to a MOBA, such as League of Legends or, name your other MOBA. But I think those started out probably with about this number too. So maybe it's not. It just, for a first-person shooter, it's a lot.
It is. It's a lot of characters to choose from. It's fun, though.
I like it. I think the
then you
more
can
the
kind
better.
of get on a certain, like, you were learning Lucio last time we played,
Yep.
and it's kind of cool. That
I think, yeah, for that reason, more characters means more accessibility,
Mm-hmm.
at least if they change them up. So, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, so hopefully they get another tank so it's not Reinhardt, that you can have another kind of tank be
Because he's like the
available.
only real tank in
Yeah.
the terms, right?
Yeah, kind of. Mr. Sword and Board guy.
Yeah. Because you actually had to instruct me on what a tank was. I thought a tank was a guy who goes out and shoots everybody. That apparently is not a tank. That's a real life tank, not an in-game tank.
In-game tank. Takes the damage.
And is like a support character, right? Guys get behind him, or he
Yeah.
helps, So we'll see. I'm okay with robots. I like robots. So bring it on. Okay, well, I think that's going to do it for news this week. There actually wasn't a whole lot of great news.
Well, I mean, there was Switch news.
Well, there's a lot of news.
Yeah, there's you can know everything you ever need to know about the Switch, what it comes with, what's in the box, what happens
What's in the box?
what happens when someone opens the box, what games are coming out when it's done, and I feel like that's been saturated. Horizon Zero Dawn, so many great looking videos are coming out for that because everybody's been playing it. It looks amazing. So that's big news this week. But
Yeah.
I feel like you can get that elsewhere. That's
Anywhere.
Anywhere you look,
outside,
you're going
it's
to trip
thrown
over
at
it.
you.
And then Mass Effect Andromeda.
Andromeda. That's the big thing. Mass Effect.
Mass
and
Effect, what kind of stats you're going to need on your computer to play it,
Yeah.
what the
System
story
requirements.
is. It's just everything. So
That's pretty much, it seemed like that was every website ever was
Those
three
three stories.
things. Yeah. Do you want to start us off with the playoffs? Playoffs?
Playoffs? Is that what you're calling this?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of like the sound of it.
What have I been playing this week?
Yeah.
So we played a lot of A Night in the Woods. We got a review coming out in the next couple days or so where we discuss that. We finished that. It's a great game, nice indie game. Hollow Knight came out on Friday.
So good.
I installed it on Saturday and I was like, oh, I'll just pop into it for a minute. And then 8 hours later, I've played the crap out of that game and I'm terrible at it, but it's so good.
That's bullshit. You're not terrible at it.
I have no money left and...
So it's... I don't want to go too much into it. I'm also playing Hollow Knight because I feel like this is going to be a good review. I feel like...
in 3 months from now when I finish it.
Early Game of the Year contender, maybe? No? I don't know.
It gets hard.
It's a hard game. It's like Owlboy.
It kind of... Well, no, I'd say it's harder than Owlboy. It kind of lulls you in. Owlboy, you could fly. So Owlboy, you go get out of anything almost, except for the very end, you could fly. And that makes things a lot easier because you're using the entire 2D space. Mm-hmm. This, you can't. And
this is a very Twitch-based game, like Shovel Knight or like a retro platformer. Yeah. It's basically Metroid, but with a very cool anime, like hand-drawn approach to it.
A very gothic, underworld bug insect thing.
It's addicting as hell. I was the same thing. I was just like, I'm going to jump in for a minute, and a day later.
Yeah, that was my weekend. Was this game.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I accomplished much.
Well, so we were talking, we had this thing where we had all these games we had to review, and then we finished Night in the Woods, and we're like, now we've kind of got this weekend and a half
before
until
Torment
comes out, and that Torment's going to be a long time. It's a big game. So we were like, we'll play just some of our popcorn games that we want to do. And you're like getting The Witcher 3.
Yeah, I've been doing The Witcher 3, and I did play a little bit of that this weekend, Saturday morning, before I played Hollow Knight.
Yeah. And I played Chrono Trigger. I thought I was just going to play Chrono Trigger all weekend, but then I also tried Hollow Knight, and now I just want to play Hollow Knight, right now. It's good. It is tough. A very hard game.
It really gets a lot. It really ranks up there. The third level now, it's a lot more like wall jumping and jumping over... I'm just thinking about this one part I have to do right now, and I don't know if I can do it.
It's tough. We'll go into a lot more discussion, obviously, when we do the review. But that's kind of my first impression.
Yeah, it came out Friday. I highly recommend it. It's like $14.95 for the game. It's a super cheap game, and the art is beautiful. The music's beautiful.
The music's amazing.
I'm like, where did this game come from? It's
so
really
good.
Really good.
And this also continues our trend of reviewing gamepad games for some reason.
Yeah, that's a controller game, and actually my hands are a little sore.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the old times.
Jump.
Top, stop, throw. So for me, same thing, Night in the Woods, Hollow Knight, Chrono Trigger, a little bit of Shovel Knight sporadically. Mm-hmm. I was hoping to play more of that, but...
Yeah, and I'll probably maybe take a break on Hollow Knight. It's to that point where it's starting to make me crazy. I've lost everything and I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, it's not forgiving.
No, it isn't. So maybe a little more Witcher 3. What I really like about The Witcher 3 is every time you load into the game, it kind of recaps you on what you've been doing for the story-wise.
Like it gives you a cutscene or something?
Yeah, kind of a cutscene for where you are in the main story, at least. So you're kind of like, oh yeah, that's where I was. So it's kind of a nice feature for me, especially since I've been playing it, just cool. On weekends and here and there and trying to get through it.
Yeah. Huh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Did they do that for the other Witchers too, or is it just this one?
I don't remember. The other Witchers I played straight through. Yeah. It was the Witcher one especially, I really remember just sitting down and just devouring that game.
I really should play one of these games at some point. Add that to the long list. Also, not really a game, but I did get a new camera. Pretty camera.
Camera one?
Camera one. I got a new keyboard. And it is, as you can see, or not see, the Rapid Fire K70. I'm probably going to do a review on it at some point. I got my ass in gear and do it. I like it. It's different. There's no clickiness to it. It's a mechanical keyboard with, forgot which switch it is, like a RGB speed silver or something. Taking some getting used to, but I am, so far, at this point, I'm in. Keeping it.
You like it?
Yeah, I'm liking it. Yeah. So, yeah. I was on the fence. I was with her, but the more I'm using it, the more I like it.
I'm not crazy about the big giant keys that come on mechanical keyboards, so that is not for me.
Things. They're great. So that is, I think, it for what I've been playing. Sounds like there's probably any other games you want to mention?
No, I really haven't been. It's The Witcher, Hollow Knight, Night in the Woods. Which the review should be up in a day or two.
We spent a lot of time playing Night in the Woods over the last, what was it, like Wednesday?
It came out Tuesday. Another indie game. I think that one's more like $24.95. It might be on the PS4 and the PC.
Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah. You should check out the review when it does come out, though. I will say that was one of our more insightful reviews as far as I feel like discussion went. It's a game that makes you want to talk, like about the plot and about what's going on. So,
for sure.
Decent. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. If you like the video, if you like our reviews and our content, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to hear from you guys. You could leave a comment of any sort. Well, mostly any sort. Hopefully a nice comment. Maybe I should re-tack that. Leave a comment if you like this content and talk about this content. And follow us on Twitter. And stay tuned for episode 3 coming at you next week. Good luck, have fun. I almost forgot. God damn it. Why can't I get the ending?
I don't know.